I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally, get a chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, I thought, my God, if Chica is offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, we live. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Nice start. Big day. Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Welcome into a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from our campus on Click Here Digital, live from the campus of Click Here Digital on this Friday morning, and brought to you every day by RMB Builders. Remember, RMB is online at rmb-builders.com and on Instagram at RMB Builders as well. Appreciate you finding us here on this Friday and starting your weekend with us. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Our Southern Regional Medical Center phone line is loaded today, as we will have Shay Dixon will be in studio with us for 7:30. Huge recruiting weekend. We'll be setting it up as Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback in the country, is set to be in Baton Rouge. They're going to fly in tomorrow morning and make a quick trip and see Saturday night in Tiger Stadium. We will also talk about the other names and headliners that'll be inside Death Valley this weekend, with Shea Dixon coming up, as he will be here at 7:30 this morning, a part of the coverage over there at On 3. At 8:15 this morning, we're going to talk to Jake Crain of Crain & Company, just like we do every Friday. We'll talk about the weekend. Big one out west in the Pac-12 with Oregon visiting Washington this weekend. That'll be a 2:30 start for us on national television, so that'll be one that a lot of people are looking forward to watching. Michael Penix Jr. taking on Bo Nix in that physical Oregon style of new duck football up there in Eugene. And we'll also talk to him about the other games this weekend, like Tennessee hosting Texas A&M as the 2:30 CBS game in the conference. And then, of course, the LSU-Auburn game. Crain's going to have great insight on this series, as his dad was a part of the Auburn program. He grew up in the Auburn program, so he knows a lot of the history, but it's from the other side. He's, been on and has the earthquake game experience. He was just on the losing side. The games that we celebrate and the games that we talk about over here in Baton Rouge are ones that kind of are punches to the gut for Auburn fans. But they've got some success stories in this series as well that we'll talk about. It's also the end of an era with this LSU Auburn series, as it really kind of comes to a consistent close for SEC and the matchup that it has been for so long. This has really been a heavyweight fight and a game and a rivalry, I think, that has a ton of respect on each side. We'll talk to Jake about that coming up during his segment at 8:15. And then Mintzy will be here at 8:30 this morning. Ben Mintz will stop in and give us his six-pack, as Mintz has been pretty hot, especially in college football, and picking some winners. We'll lay out the weekend for you coming up here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Brian Kelly was speaking to the media yesterday, and obviously Thursdays are the last time that we hear from Kelly, as the next time we see and hear from Kelly, he'll be inside Tiger Stadium getting ready to kick it off versus Auburn. But he had some things that he was talking about yesterday, including updating the status of his quarterback as Jayden Daniels has been obviously left off of the injury report. This is 10, Stewie, of Kelly giving an update on his quarterback. But Daniels has, I think a little surprisingly early in the week, left off the injury report after we saw what he sustained over in Columbia in that game versus Missouri. And it was Kelly yesterday was talking about the week that Daniels had and the expectations for him on Saturday. We good on this, Stewie? This is Brian Kelly yesterday.
Yeah, good question. It's one of those things where, as a coach, you want to be you want to be aware of how quarterback's feeling and how you kind of move into the week. But we have captains meetings, and he's one of our captains on Monday. He said, Coach, I don't want you to change anything. I'm good to go. And so we didn't change anything up. He took all the reps, and I think it sent a really good message to everybody about, there's going to be some bumps and bruises, and guys are going to be sore, but you got to kind of, get through it. And so I thought that the message that he sent this week, he feels really good now, but I think he was pretty sore on Tuesday and Wednesday, but today he looked really good, back to his old self, and I think he's ready to compete at a high level.
Just if you needed more evidence.
I think he's been competent. I think our kickers.
Just if you needed more evidence on Daniels and how much he means to this team, I think that's another great example of Kelly kind of laying out the conversation that they had in the captain's meeting earlier this week, and what Daniels' expectations were for himself. And when you talk about leadership, you talk about a guy that is an MVP to a team, and I think that Jayden Daniels is the absolute definition of a most valuable player to a team. Whenever you're searching for, well, what does it mean to be a most valuable player? You could always go back to the 2023 LSU football team and point to the example of Jayden Daniels, because if you take him off this team, not only do you lose the production on offense, but you lose stuff like that. Stuff that we may not see, we may not hear about. You have to hear it from inside of coaches or people that are inside the building of Daniels telling and going to the head coach and saying, hey, man, don't change anything up. Make sure I get all my reps. Make sure that this week is just as normal as possible. And while some people might think like that's tough guy stuff, that's leadership in the sense of just how Kelly said, what it meant to the rest of the team. The message that it sends to the rest of the locker room. That this guy's locked in, dialed in, ready to go every day. Doesn't matter what happens, injured, hurting, not healthy, not right, he's in. And if he's in, who can't be in? Daniels is the definition, in my opinion, of what a most valuable player is to a team. Not only does he carry the load like he does on the field, but behind the scenes, he's setting the example every single day with his leadership of fighting through what's going on with him personally and looking out for the betterment of the team. Daniels is, there's no more that we can say to praise LSU senior quarterback. He is in an elite class of signal callers right now. I think he's a finalist for the Heisman Trophy Award right now. If they were to shut down the season and they call the 5 up to New York, he's in the mix.
Is it 5 or 3?
It's as many as they want it to be.
Yeah, it's. I think this year you could probably have 5.
Yeah, all right.
Because there's been years when it's been 3 people, 5 people, 4 people. It's just a matter of how many are kind of in contention.
Randy Moss is still wearing his sunglasses.
Should have won it.
I think that year it was 5.
Mm-hmm. Was it when
There's
Charles
Ryan
Woodson,
Leaf, Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, and
Randy Moss? If
Randy
there's
Moss?
one other, then dude, you probably weren't gonna win.
right.
That's a stout class.
I'm not gonna win, bro.
Yeah,
Charles Woodson
I just
won
wanted
it.
to meet these people.
Yeah, Charles Woodson did win it. Last defensive player to win it.
And Ndamukong Suh had the second. Was he
Yeah.
the second closest?
Dorsey's up there.
Dorsey is up there.
Tyron
Didn't get to go. Tyron went.
Yeah, Matthew was invited.
I'm telling you, if he returns that West Virginia, the one he batted in the air and catches at West Virginia, if that gets into the end zone, I think that just the numbers alone,
That just about seals it.
I think that seals it.
I mean, the great what if is always 2012, but I think if he comes back for 2012, I mean, people forget how much hype was on Tyrann Mathieu
Oh,
going
yeah,
into the
he
season.
was-
The week he got thrown off the team, he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and ESPN, the magazine. I mean, like, think about that.
Can't kick this guy off the team, right?
I mean, he's the most popular player in the sport. All he has to do is carry over what he did in 11 to
Well,
a degree. To a degree.
That's what I just say.
To a degree. I mean, like, I'm not saying it was good, but I mean,
it wasn't gonna be the same. But
do
it
we
was-
doubt that it was going to be that much different?
That's the greatest what if. That's what I think it almost did him a favor for his legacy and lure of the what if, because you have no idea what it would have looked like. It's like if Harold Perkins doesn't come back for his sophomore year. It's still that it's in that class of
Oh, yeah.
man, you never got to see what would have been.
Jamar Chase without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Like he didn't come back for that junior year. He could have been. I don't. They didn't have
You just can't-
anybody
it's-
in
it's-
college
yeah.
football
Yeah, no,
that could
I
have
know.
guarded him.
It's hard to top what he did as a sophomore, and
Yeah.
for him to not be able to come back, that's what makes it the greatest what if. Because I don't know if you can play at that level again, because everything just seemed to. And I could be wrong, because I mean he's still doing it, but it just felt like such an enigma and such a holy. How does this happen? You can't just be in the right place at the right time all the time. And it turns out it's just that's how we played football. So there's no reason for me to doubt that he could have done that again, especially
No,
on that
that's-
defense.
Yeah, that's my kind of train of thought.
But I don't know if he would have. I guess you would have put him at punt returner again,
For
Or if you
sure.
would have started. Oh, I say that because of what they did, how they treated
Odell.
Patrick going into his junior year, where he kind of stopped returning punts and they put Tyrann back there because you start. And same thing with Pat's junior year, where you start protecting draft stock a little bit, but Tyrann just played totally different. Like you're not gonna. You can't cut that out of his DNA.
Tyron ain't fumbling that punt against Florida.
that Pat did?
Yeah.
And that was
Or Georgia?
That was Odell.
Yeah,
Odell
fell-
against-
Odell
against Georgia.
fumbled a couple of punts that
Pat,
year.
Yeah.
Pat he fumbled one in the swamp,
And then Odell was
Georgia.
Matt Elam forced
Oh,
that wasn't
yeah.
a punt. That was a
No,
like
but
he caught a deep ball.
He fumbled a punt too that game.
Yeah, he had
he
a
did.
tough one.
Yeah,
I mean, that was the
game.
play of the game.
Yeah.
Oh, the strip. Yeah.
Because he was going down the sidelines. He was looking to score.
Just get out.
I hate the swamp so much.
So this LSU Auburn series comes to a close tomorrow, and man, I got to be honest, it punches me in the gut. I mean, it hits. It definitely is one that you hate to see go because of just what it's meant to the history of the LSU program, what it's meant for the SEC, and really, what this game means and the meaning that it had year in, year out. I just think that this was as respectable and as double-sided of a rivalry that the SEC has had. I think that the SEC's popularity and in growth over the last 15 years, games like this are really ones that you can hang your hat on. Sure, the LSU-Alabama series is one that draws numbers. Georgia now is kind of the heavyweight of the class that's always going to bring eyeballs wherever they go. All of that, I think, was built on the backs of series like LSU and Auburn. There's series all throughout the conference that you could use examples from other schools. But from the LSU standpoint, I think the LSU-Auburn series has been one that the SEC has been very proud of over the last 30 years when you think about what this game has meant to the league and what this game has meant to each school and what the game has meant to the overall shakeout of college football. I mean, there was a decade run where this game was influencing the West every year. I mean, like high influence on the SEC West. And we all know what happens if you go to the SEC title game. I mean, think about that year that Cam Newton and Auburn won the national championship. As tough a game as they played all season long, the Mississippi State game was a tough one for them, but the LSU game at home, I mean, they had to earn that game. That was another one where, I mean, they They had no quarterback play. LSU did. I think Spencer Ware threw a touchdown pass to Reuben Randall that day.
He did.
I want to say even like Keelan Williams. I mean, like threw a touchdown pass against Auburn at one point. I mean, like they brought so many non-quarterback teams over there and snuck out of there with close games and wins. I mean, it's wild to think about this one. But tomorrow, obviously, I think LSU's got a huge advantage when you're just looking at the roster. But Brian Kelly yesterday was talking about the approach to this Auburn game coming up tomorrow night. Stewie, this is 3. Brian Kelly 3, talking about this Auburn team and where they are. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, Peyton Thorne has thrown for over 6,000 yards in the Big Ten. So it's a bit misleading in terms of, their statistics relative to throwing the ball. They can throw the football. And if you're not on your coverage, they're capable of being very productive. They choose not to throw the football. So I think that's a big difference. I think there are some teams that are not capable of throwing the football and are not productive. They can throw the football, so they keep you balanced from that perspective. Now, let's face it, they're certainly a run-first team, but you have to defend the pass. You can't just say, they're not going to throw the football against LSU. They're going to do everything necessary to win the game. So we have to defend the pass. We have to obviously defend the quarterback and the quarterback run, which puts you in a very difficult situation defensively because it's hard to do both. And that's why this offense is a really good offense.
This is a slump buster for the LSU pass defense. I mean, for LSU's defensive pass group, if they can't at least take some confidence away from tomorrow night, it's worse than we thought it was. Think about that. I mean, this is 121 versus 121. The 121st ranked pass defense versus the 121st passing offense. Like, something's got to give here. Who's worse? Is the matchup. Like, I mean, like, who can't execute against one another is really going to be the takeaway here. I mean, for LSU defensively, if you can't at least find a little bit of sunshine tomorrow night versus this passing group, man,
You get a problem.
next 6 weeks are going to be a lot longer than we thought.
Right. And you had the only, I guess, not saving grace, but the only, I guess, silver lining for the LSU defense if it does perform poorly is you got Auburn off a bye with a mind like Hugh Freeze. So there's going to be some things dialed in there that will hit you for some chunk plays. Like you saw what they did against Georgia, where they found that the quarterback power, like quarterback sweep, essentially was their bread and butter, where they went for 50 and then they used it to convert it like a 4th and 2 against Georgia. And they kind of find ways to exploit your weaknesses on defense. We talked about that earlier in the week. But for LSU, it's going to turn. I don't even know if it's going to be the pass game. They're so reliant on the run, even with Peyton Thorne, and then you throw in a Robbie Ashford, whose ability to. I mean, you saw it last year. He's an elite athlete, and if you get him in space and they get that kind of thing going with the dual quarterback system where they're both running it on you, and Jack Les Hunter gets going, like you can see them kind of eat up chunk plays, and then you can build a pass game off your run if you're that elite running the football. And LSU gave up some chunk plays last week against the run against Missouri, that's not their bread and butter, but they were able to do it a little bit against an LSU front that you just hope got better week to week. That's all you can hope for. And I think Brian Kelly mentioned some more words about Pete Jenkins.
Yeah. I mean,
he's making a difference already.
He's obviously coming in there and like just
nice
tinkering
to
a lot.
have somebody dedicated to the group.
Right.
And that's the thing that you kind of have to hang your hat on if you're LSU is you got big Pete Jenkins in there, and then you just hope you get better week to week because, I mean, let's not get it twisted. There's going to be points.
Yes.
Missouri.
Yes. Auburn will find
Auburn is going to find the end zone.
Hugh Freeze, man.
Yeah, and I just think that if you just have to make them one-dimensional. If you can keep Thorne in the pocket, keep Ashford in the pocket, that's when you'll see an LSU be able to pull away.
This will be a formidable defense from Auburn. This will be a tough group. Here is Brian Kelly. This is 6 Stewie of him talking about that side of the ball that Auburn will be bringing to town tomorrow night.
Well, I think, there's a couple players. I think, the safety is playing at a high level. I think he's, leads the SEC or one of the top guys in the SEC in interceptions. Big and physical up front. I think it's a big defensive line that is well coached. I think the defensive structure is really sound. And they remind me of an Auburn defense that we played last year. It was physical. They're fast. They run to the football, and it's well coached. When you go like from Missouri's defense to Arkansas to Mississippi State, they're all really good defenses. Some might have a player here or there that might be better. But they're all really good defenses in some fashion. And this defense, I think, is probably as balanced, in the front seven and the back end as any defense that we've played.
It's going to be a great challenge, I think, for LSU, especially up front, is really what I'm looking forward to the most. And Brian Kelly took a question on the offensive line that I thought was really good insight to that group over the last couple of weeks, because there was a time, I think, where we all expected, I know I did, expected Lance Hurd to unseat Miles Frazier, or at least move into a starting right tackle spot and bump Emory Jones down to a guard spot and ultimately take away Miles Frazier's starting job. And Frazier, over the last couple of weeks, I think obviously he felt a little bit of that heat, and his play has picked up for that. Emory Jones was named Offensive Lineman of the Week in the league last week. But when you go back and watch the game a couple of times, you see that Miles Frazier is playing. He's playing with a little bit of an edge right now. He's playing a little bit. Really, he's been playing a little meaner than he has been over the last year and first two games of this season. Frazier has really improved, and Brian Kelly was speaking of that yesterday because he was asked specifically on what the status of Hurd and that transition is as of now here at the midseason mark.
I think consistency of performance, and we felt like we've been playing at a high level, and to move somebody in to that position, especially the right tackle position, I think it requires you to knock the champion out in a sense, right? And Miles was a starter for us, and I don't think that this is a slight on Lance at all. I mean, I think he's played well when he's gone in there, but we just felt like that rotation needed to be such where we were getting outstanding play or even better play than Miles, and Miles has played really well, better than he played last year. So I think that consistency at right guard has really prompted us to be more consistent in keeping him in the game.
I agree. I think that is, I mean, when you hear him say that and you watch the last couple of games, that's been evident. I mean, that's been pretty clear that Frazier has at least gotten the message that if there is a shakeup, he's the one that's going to lose his job. That's how I have felt in watching him play over the last couple of weeks. I thought when you watch the unit play up until the third, fourth game of the season, it was easy to see who for the lack of a better term, the weak link was. Right? I mean, it was kind of obvious who stood out. Now, when you watch them play, it's a consistent five. I mean, I think that, this offensive line who, look, we were very high on in the offseason going into it, is really found their footing. They've found their confidence. They've found their edge. They've found their identity. I mean, it's a group that's obviously headlined by Campbell and Jones and even a senior in Turner. But when you add in Dellinger, I think Dellinger's been really solid. I mean, he's a guy that we just don't talk about.
Which is the
Exactly.
biggest compliment you could pay.
That's right. I mean, he's been just
Solid.
yeah. I mean, and I think when you go down the line, that would probably be the grade for all of them.
Solid.
You know, I think Turner struggled a little bit last week. He obviously had the injury. But, I mean, there has been times where Turner's been a little inconsistent.
But hell, Coach, you're 3 deep at center.
I know.
That was the biggest coup of anything that you found out. Like, oh, DJ Chester, get in there.
The quickest trigger they have is on him.
Yeah.
I mean, really.
But you want to see him play. I think for everything that Brian Kelly just said about like knocking out the heavyweight, I think more of what he's interested in is the continuity of those 5 playing together, because people forget that the offensive line is almost like it's a symphony where they have to be all playing the same notes at the same time and know what each other's doing. They all know each other's position. They've talked about that before, where to play on the offensive line, you have to know what the guard does, what the center does. You have to know how to do those jobs. And having the same 5 play consistently is probably the best thing you can have in football. And that's what I think is more, Brian Kelly's more interested, whether it's talent or not, having Miles Frazier out there with the same 4 that he's been lining up with all year. I think has been the biggest difference for they're comfortable with each other. Yeah. And they stop tinkering with it a little bit.
Speaking of sticking with one, Logan Diggs has emerged as the top running back on this team. This is 8, Stewie, of Brian Kelly talking about Diggs and his performance up to this point and what he gives LSU at that position.
Him going forward.
I mean, we're going to have them all ready and available, and it's kind of been the same theme. You know, we're going to go with the guy that is running well. And Logan Diggs has been really good, and we've kind of stuck with him. If it's somebody else, we'll go with them. They'll all be ready. They'll all be prepared, and we'll see how things play out, Saturday night.
Remember Daily, we're brought to you by our friends over at Katie's Restaurant down on Iberville Street in New Orleans. You can find them there, located in the heart of Mid-City, and they're online at katiesinmidcity.com. They have a sister restaurant, Francesca's, which is over in Lakeview. Great New Orleans favorites on the menu. They've got televisions out on the balcony. They're open 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Sunday. They've embraced the NFL schedule, so you can go over there and watch football if you're looking for a spot to place a good food order and hang out and get great service, cold beer, and great food. Taste of New Orleans, the smell of New Orleans, the sounds of New Orleans. You can pick it up all over at Katie's, katiesinmidcity.com, katiesinmidcity.com. Our friend Shay Dixon is going to be here in a couple of minutes. It's an enormous recruiting weekend in Baton Rouge. Obviously, it's headlined by Bryce Underwood, who's the 5-star #1 quarterback in the country out of Michigan's going to be down this weekend.
You like what you see?
He's going to be taking it in. I think that this is a perfect opportunity to sell the brand of LSU. I expect tomorrow to be one of those world-class Saturdays.
Take it all in.
That you
Take
just,
it all in.
You can't fake tomorrow. You can't create tomorrow. Tomorrow just happens organically when it comes together like it is on Saturday, where you've got LSU coming off of a nice win against Missouri, something that you can build some momentum off of, so there's positive vibes around the fan base. Tomorrow when you wake up, it's probably going to be 70 degrees.
Sleep outside.
Without a cloud in the sky. When the sun starts to break, it's going to be a beautiful Saturday with blue skies. And then you make your way out to LSU and you hear music.
Shea Dixon's around.
You smell the tailgates. You see the sights.
Can't even get in a fight with your wife tomorrow. It's too good a weather.
It's too good. It's too good. That's right.
Don't ask me your mind for nothing.
Just succumb to it. I mean, you got me. I'm guilty, but
good.
I'll handle it tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Saints game's going to be hell.
I'm going. I got to get out there. Early bike ride for sure.
My
tomorrow.
Wife. Yeah, you need to record it.
Maybe so.
You should record it.
Just like that. You think that woman's going to be up early?
Wait, do you ride your bike from your house to LSU?
No, I go and park on I put it in the back of the truck.
We need an update on her as well.
Yeah, we do need an update on her. Is she okay? How's she doing
I mean,
these
I
days?
would say that she's still sleepwalking in the driveway. For as one of the most
She's been waiting for
consistent-
football season.
Yes.
Yeah, she was up early.
We'll see. You know what? I'll see.
You'll
I'll
see.
Oh, we'll see tomorrow morning.
Up early. We got game day today, coach.
Making a
That's
ruin
right.
her front yard.
Go Tigers!
Good tired. That's all she's waiting
That's
on.
right.
She freeze like a banging goat.
Speaking of, Shea Dixon is here. He just walked in. We will have him on the set next, as it's a huge recruiting weekend like we talked about. Who's in? What's the message? The brand, everything should be popping tomorrow night. We'll talk to Shay about the names and faces that'll be in Baton Rouge. Come back with us. Like, share. If you haven't subscribed, do so. We'll be right back on the Jordy Culotta Show from Click Here Digital.
Football. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, Cordell.
Hey. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
he stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
He's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him.
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement
And Louisiana families.
To fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
A real passion of mine is ACL injuries, but not just really in the treatment of ACL injuries, but how do we keep them from happening? So right here at Ochsner, we're doing some research studies on ACL injury prevention. We're working with some of our high schools, and we're testing different functional tests for athletes. And we're trying to identify people that are at risk for ACL tears. We're trying to catch them before those ACLs happen. And then we want to intervene with some injury prevention programs. And that's something that, being part of Ochsner Andrews Institute, and we can continue on that research. We can expand the impact of that research. We can bring that to more athletes in our community.
Live here on this Friday, huge recruiting weekend coming at you in Baton Rouge as a who's who. A lot of faces will be in town, including the number one quarterback in the country, Bryce Underwood from Michigan, as he'll make the trip down. I believe he's flying in tomorrow morning as his team has a regular season game here on this Friday night. Shay Dixon, who covers recruiting for On3, does it as good as anybody out there, man. If you're looking for recruiting information, Shay and the crew have it cornered. Their team of people like Sammy Speaks, Billy Embody, and Shay doing great work over there. Matt Brune, the post-game podcast is a great listen.
A must.
As
Thank
well for the crew over at On3. Shay, good morning. How are you?
Good. Well, thank you.
It's a huge weekend.
Big.
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's kind of stars align, really.
When you have 4 of your first 6 games on the road, that doesn't give you a lot of opportunities, obviously, to host kids. So this is entering this back stretch where you only play 1 road game. It's going to be a ton of visitors across the next 2 months. But this will be one of the bigger ones for the reason you led off with.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get any bigger than the number 1 overall player in the country. So Bryce Underwood coming back from Michigan, the 4th visit in 6 months with his parents, with his sister. So all hands on deck. Like you said, he plays Friday night. So good thing they got a night game. He'll be in early Saturday and then leave Sunday. So quick turnaround, but gets the visit in.
Where does LSU stand here? It seems like Joe Sloan's done a great job.
Yes, I'd say top 2. It's LSU or Michigan, in my opinion. There'll be other teams that jump in the mix. Colorado got him out there. Penn State, he's visited. Bama's a team he's throwing around. I don't think he ends up at Bama. I think it's LSU or Michigan, and he's from an hour away from Michigan's campus. So you're battling that.
Mm-hmm. Have you gotten a sense of how he really feels about LSU on the mark that LSU has made on him?
Yeah, I think that he really likes the environment. He likes all the coaches, likes kind of the vibe down here in Baton Rouge. And I think from what I've gathered, and this is coming from talking to people around Underwood's recruitment and elsewhere, is that LSU stock went up even more when this season happened.
Uh-huh.
When you go out there and you put out at the midway point a quarterback who's got more total yards than anybody in the country and has got himself in whatever national conversation you want to have for best quarterback, best player, most important piece. He's done it all, most impactful. And no doubt the offense is clicking, and you can sell that. I mean, you can remember the Les days when you'd say, how are you going to sell a quarterback to come here and hand the football off? Well, how you sell quarterbacks is this right here. Look, you're going to be able to showcase arms, legs, whatever you want to do.
When he's got an announcement date coming up, right? Is it
January 6th
Yeah.
is what it is tentatively. So if he pushes it up or keeps it there, this may or may not be the last time he visits. So it's a big one.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so this is a big weekend. Obviously, Underwood is the headliner. Who else is coming through?
Let's see. Gabe Relaford, another who's been committed to A&M out of Evangel. He's done LSU and A&M visits this year. He's supposed to be here. A lot of the commitments will be here. I will say one of the biggest names I'm watching beyond Underwood is C.J. Jackson. He's an edge rusher, top 100, coming out of Georgia. And at one point, they led for him this summer, but they were so in on Colin Simmons that they were chasing that. Jackson commits to Georgia Tech. He has since reopened his recruitment, but he said that one of 2 schools that really just stayed in touch with him the whole time when he was committed was LSU. So he decommitted last week. This week is his first chance to get out and go to a game, and he picks LSU. So that's notable. Everyone has been wanting D lineman. He's a big kid. Like I said, he play edge. If he puts on some weight, could play DN. But a big time, a top 10 edge rusher in the country, top 100 players. So this would, if they got him on board, it would be one of their 4 or 5 highest ranked commits.
Wow. The push on Relaford, when is this really kind of picked up steam? Because it seems like since he's made the visit over the last couple of weeks that LSU's really put the gas down, the gas pedal down on trying to get him.
Yeah, they offered in July, and he'd been committed to A&M since June. And then the first opportunity they had to get him on campus was for a game was that opener against Grambling State. He was there. And then, like I said, when you play 4 of 6 games on the road, you don't have a lot of opportunity to get guys back. So if he does show up, if he is down here this weekend, that will be telling, because if you're locked in with a school, then you really don't visit other teams, not multiple times especially. And they need D linemen bad. That's the reality of it, and he's the best D lineman in the state, in my opinion. So it's an important weekend. I have him over Dom McKinley if I'm an LSU fan on my wish list.
Really?
Yeah, he's that good.
Wow.
He was awesome as a junior at Evangel, and he's tearing it up as a senior.
Well, I was saying on the show earlier this week, I've been watching the Evangel documentary on Hulu, and it's his junior season.
Yeah, correct.
And you can see, like, he takes off like a rocket ship, man. And Shay, I don't mean this in any begrudgingly ways, but what did they need to see on him?
I think they wanted him to come to camp because, I mean, a lot of guys on film you can pop, but what are your measurements? What do you run? These are things that every college checks out, and he had not camped yet, so they were waiting on that in June. That didn't happen. Simultaneously, he commits to A&M, and I think just by the time July rolled around, it was like, okay, either we're waiting to see him as a senior, or we need to do this now. And it was, let's go ahead and offer him now.
Oak Grove athlete, PJ Woodland?
Yeah, is he still committed to state? You know, he had been committed to state for a bit. He'll be in. Like I said, a number of in-state guys will be here. Notable here, Caden Durham and Decorian Moore, who played last night, now have an open Saturday. Both those guys will be here. The Duncanville kids, you want to get them around as much as possible. And then Harlem Berry, the number one running back in the country, coming out of St. Martin's, will be here. So think about this. You'll have Decorian Moore, a 5-star receiver for next year, Underwood, a 5-star quarterback, and Harlem Berry, a 5-star running back. Wow. All of them could finish number 1 at their position. Certainly, I feel very confident Berry and Underwood will. Decorian Moore will battle a guy like Ryan Williams for the number 1 spot, but that is what you call an absolute dream class if you could get a 5-star quarterback, wide receiver, and running back in one cycle.
And I know DK Moore is, like, Texas is turning up the heat on him, right?
And they always have. And he committed despite that. And look, Colin Simmons is going to Texas, but Caden Durham's going to LSU. I think DK's wanting to do what he wants to do. He grew up idolizing Odell Beckham. And right now, look, we've talked about it on the show before. His family is big Texas people. They love Texas, but they support his decision. And Texas hasn't had a wide receiver taken in the first round since Roy Williams.
Wow.
That was what?
2002?
20 years ago. So unless Xavier Worthy gets taken this year, I mean, LSU's got one every other year. So just that selling what they've done, but also the reality of the production they get this year. Look around. I mean, Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. Brian Thomas leads the country in touchdowns. Malik number 2 in receiving yards. That's what, if you're a receiver, I'm up next.
Right.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. From the standpoint of defensive backs, obviously this is a class that LSU needs to turn up the heat in. Is there anybody on the board? I know there's some 2025 DBs that are going to be in town this weekend as far as recruits on campus go.
Yeah, the one 2024 defensive back I'm watching is BB Causey, Bernard Causey out of Kennedy in New Orleans. He's committed to Ole Miss, but LSU offered him after seeing him as a senior. He's looked really good. He's had a really good senior season. I do think they will flip him, but Kennedy plays Saturday night, so he won't be he's not going to pull a Dion. Not going to be able to make it to both.
Right.
A little high school football.
Fly a helicopter in.
Yeah, drop over for the game. But he's already been to one game. He'll come back for more. And they have 4 corners committed, including a nickel, and then a couple of safeties, obviously, and Deshaun McBride and Joel Rogers. We'll see if they don't add more safeties, but they definitely want to add at least one more corner. And there's no doubt they're going all after Causey. I think that's who it's going to be.
Is Jawan Johnson a definite DB?
100%.
Like no chance at playing offense?
Oh, I wouldn't say no chance. I mean, if you feel like he's better on offense, put him there. But the goal where he will start is a DB.
Yeah,
which I think is good. That's fine. He's not going to play quarterback, but
right.
He's pretty good on Friday nights at it.
Good Lord.
Junior college or transfer portal? What's going on there?
Yeah, people forget about JUCO. Sean Washington, who had from the New Orleans area, defensive lineman, prepped at Warren Easton, has gone. I think he spent last year or this year. He went to Georgia last year, transferred out, and then went to East Mississippi this year. And LSU offered him. A couple of states offered him. A couple of other schools. I think LSU ends up getting him. He's a big defensive lineman, can play on the interior. So don't forget about JUCO. A lot of guys, especially in the offseason right now, if they hit the portal, I think more guys will go JUCO because they think, all right, I hit the portal, but all my offers are lower level than where I'm at now. Yeah. And I'd like playing time, but I don't want to drop down. I can go JUCO for a year, stack my offers back up, and be good. So JUCO is not dead. There are a lot of good players out in JUCO right now.
Transfer portal, anybody that they're looking, or do you even know the field
yet?
You
don't know that field till December. I will say, though, that I think DB, again, in the portal is going to be massive for him. Like safety. If you're, at the end of the Major Burns, Brooks, Andre Sam era, then who do you have? Sage Ryan is your last guy, and beyond that, nobody's played. We haven't seen Jordan Allen. Matthew Langlois has been hurt. Everybody, Ryan Yates and Toviano are freshmen, so I would guess in the portal, safety is a big place that they're going to look.
So how does a weekend like this work when there's so many in town? Because you got some landing tonight, you got some landing tomorrow morning, some driving in after games. What's
personnel staff handles a lot of that kind of stuff. The off-the-field coaches and men and women who work there kind of take recruits around, go eat dinner with them, all that kind of stuff. And then coaches will see them a bit on Saturday before the game, but hanging out in the locker room or in the locker room or on the sideline. And then after the game, kind of catch up a little bit. And then Sunday becomes big because, you watch film and all that. But if you've got guys like Underwood and those kind of guys in town, you hang out with them for a bit and then you get back after it. So it's this is why they don't do official visits a lot on game weekends, because you just don't have much time to spend with them.
Yeah. So how do you make sure a kid like Underwood has enough attention? Is it time on Saturday or is it time like Sunday morning?
All of it, right? And all of the above, which playing right down. From a coaching
standpoint.
Yeah, everything. It's making sure that the right people are around him. And look, guys like Patrick Kelly, for instance, Brian Kelly's son, who works on the recruiting side, has recruited Underwood a lot. So if Sloan's doing coaching things, a guy like Kelly would be with him. So it's kind of all hands on deck.
Chili asks, #AskShay, any updates or any movement on Wardell Mack?
No, nothing at all. There's been no buzz about him visiting. I know there was buzz around him visiting FSU maybe, but it just doesn't seem he's interested. So I'd expect that he's going to leave the state. He is still committed to Florida. So for right now, that's where he's headed. I've heard no other buzz about it.
Wow. All right, Shay, the coverage tomorrow on 3, what's it look like on a big recruiting weekend? I guess you guys will be everywhere, right?
Tracking all those guys, catching up with them on Sunday to see how it went. A win would be big, not just for on the field, but sold out. Mm-hmm. Like Underwood seeing Tiger Stadium for the first time. You want the environment to be good. It's at night. So I think it's setting up to be a pretty good weekend. If you get a win, then it works out well.
Before I get you out of here, this Auburn series, as it is now, is coming to a close. They'll play it every other year with the new format, but this was really one of the series for our generation. Shay, I say this was the game, for me and like my friend group kind of coming up. It was the Auburn game, and there's so many memories from it. Do you have one that pops?
Yeah, well, and Eddie's sitting in the corner over here. I was going to say, when everyone says their favorite Auburn memory, it just dates you of how old you were or whatever. But I'll go. I was in college for Flindibird, so I'll pick Flindibird.
Yeah.
But that was that stretch of I was at Auburn when the no flag on early Doucette, when
picked it up.
I was there on the Ronnie Prude leverage call.
So I did a couple of Auburn road trips, did the Auburn games here. I would say, though, Flindibird.
Yeah.
1 second left. What a genius.
What a genius.
What a genius.
Les jumping. It's over.
It's over.
One from Holy Bull. How is Colin Hurley doing?
Midway point of the season, he dropped his highlights. If anyone wants to go check them out, they're on our site. He tweeted them. So, yeah, he's improved his rushing this year. His completion percentage is up a bit. The thing people have to remember is he's really a junior. He's 16. Mm-hmm. He's skipping his senior season. This is his final year of high school. He'll be here in January, so we'll see soon enough.
Yeah. Shay Dixon on 3. They'll be covering all of this weekend's coverage for you from a recruiting standpoint. You can follow him on Twitter at Shea Dixon. All of the news is right there for you at on3.com, a part of the Bignell Tiger, with a great team of guys covering recruiting for you. So remember,
and shout out Baby Bass.
Yes. You got a big basketball list this weekend, right?
Yeah, I think they've got some guys in, but Matt McMahon, Brandon Bass Jr.
Yeah, who's a player. I think he's out of Orlando.
Yeah, somewhere in Florida.
Yeah. He's
Combo
He's
guard.
a lefty.
Really?
Yeah. But, I mean, if he's anything like his dad's a basketball junkie.
Basketball.
Still is. I follow him on social media. I mean, he's like playing like pickup games in the neighborhood. He's
just killing
people. Good to see you, Shay.
Yes, you as well. Good to see you guys.
Hour 2, we're going to start you off with the legend. Eddie Kennison is in the building. We've got Football Fridays today for you over at the Lod Cook, which will be fantastic. Remember, you can get in there. You can find out more information about it and get over to the Lod Cook today, as we will be there at 11:30 if you want to have some walk-ins. The Legends list is fantastic. Coming up on this Friday. We're brought to you by Go Roof, online at geauxroof.com. Remember, get in touch with our friends over at Go Roof for a beautiful roof every single time. Get on the phone and call them today at 927-8300. That's a 225 area code, 927-8300. Store that into your phone, and that can be your help when you need some roof and any roof work done around the house, around the office, commercial or residential, or any roofing repairs they can help you with. Count on Go Roof today. Get a 2-year free workmanship guarantee with all new roof installations. Online, geauxroof.com. Go Roof, a beautiful roof every single time. I know those guys are having a huge tailgate tomorrow over at Go Roof, 225-927-8300. geauxroof.com. Go Roof, a beautiful roof every single time. Eddie Kennison next here on the Culotta Show. Come back with us. If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about one buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on.
Did you do it?
Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every single time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, Go Roof. Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe
all his life. Football is Joe Burrow.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com.
Well, the Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Ochsner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Ochsner's to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long. Do it right, do it light.
Kyra Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 504 food because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti. But you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person, I'd probably get Kyron Lacey. He be having me joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
Besides myself, Perk or Malik. Future self, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking Perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emory Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PSDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Head health is incredibly important for our student athletes. One of the best ways we're trying to address concussions is on the front end. We're trying to prevent these before they happen. And a big part of that is speaking to the athletes, letting them know what to expect. Okay, speaking to the parents, what to look out for, talking to the coaches so they know the vital importance. Some of the big things we're looking for with a concussion, which is, a traumatic brain injury, is one, was there a mechanism? Was there an injury that took place that could lead to this? Often a direct blow to the head, a head-to-head hit. If someone's showing signs of concussion, our first step is always to remove them from activity, get them to a place where there's less stimuli, where we can really just sit down and get a feel for the athlete, what they're feeling. We're looking for headache, we're looking for dizziness, any sign that coordination is off, that something's just not right. Get a good evaluation of them to understand what's going on. It's not worth the risk that may be there to kind of ignore it, because there are very serious consequences if we don't treat a concussion properly.
All right, welcome back here to a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show. As always, we are built and powered by our friends over at RMB Builders and brought to you daily by Hughes Mechanical. Check out Hughes Mechanical online at hughesmechanical.net. You can call them at 225-658-2147. They're a trusted Daikin dealer, and they can help you with residential or commercial HVAC services today. Tell Travis Hughes that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show, as they serve all of South Louisiana, based in Zachary, but all throughout Lafayette, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore. You can get them. HughesMechanical.net, 225-658-2147. All right, coming up today at the Lod Cook Hotel and Alumni Center on campus, we are partnered up with the LSU Alumni Association. Eddie Kennison and I are hosting our second Football Fridays after a huge smashing debut for our Football Friday a couple of weeks ago for the Arkansas game. We'll be back over at the Cook Hotel inside the ballroom today with a cast of legends, some that were there on the first go-around and some others that will be here today for the first time, including Earthquake Eddie Fuller, who will be in the building telling his story about the 1988 game versus Auburn. But a man who has had a lot of history with LSU and still over at LSU, and a legend over there on campus, is Eddie Kennison, and a part of our committee and hosting of the Football Fridays. Ed, it's good to see you this morning.
Yeah, brother, good to see you guys as well, man. Always great to be in studio. I need to move this studio into my house and just have it there, brother. It looks so good.
It'd be convenient, huh?
That's right.
It does. It feels like a home. That's what we wanted to build.
That's right.
Don't let Jordy fool you. He lives about 2 minutes from here, so it is his house.
that was accidental too. Look, I mean, all right, Ed. Football Friday was great the first time, right? I mean, the legends in the room and the people. It was better than you and I think imagined it would go.
Yeah, and the first one you think maybe 50, 60 people would show up. I think we had 180, 190 people in the building, including 12 legends for the first one. And I think this one we may have 10, 8 or 10 that are coming in today. So, man, it's just been wonderful. And the feedback, even that day that we got from the first luncheon was phenomenal. And I'm so looking forward to this afternoon, or this morning rather, at 11 o'clock, man. It's just been wonderful. It was good to share some stories that hadn't been heard in a while, and I know it was refreshing for the guys to be able to release some of those stories and tell those. But it was fantastic, brother. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Kevin Falk had a moment in the first one of just telling some of his firsthand memories of being a Tiger, and something that Jerry DiNardo allowed him to do that I never knew. I mean, I consider myself almost obsessive about LSU football history, and to hear a guy like Falk tell a story about how DiNardo would let him come out of the tunnel first and step out into a raucous full packed Tiger Stadium and get the crowd pumped up, and to hear from a guy like Falk what that meant to him. I mean, when I'm telling you, you could have heard a pin drop in that room. And as Eddie said, there was over 150 people in that room sitting there watching. And when you looked out, I mean, nobody was blinking.
Right.
I mean, it was just everybody just staring and listening to what Falk was talking about. We'll create some of those moments today. Guys like KJ Malone, Skylar Green, Marcus Randall, Rondell Mealy, Stephen Ridley, Ivory Hilliard, who was there last time, who's a great storyteller.
That joke is funny.
He's funny, dude. He is a funny dude. Anthony Skinner will be back as well. Brett Besh will be in the building. And as we said, Eddie Fuller will be there too, as it's Auburn week. You know, in Baton Rouge, when Auburn week rolls around, everybody's talking about that 1988 game. But Eddie, this series is one that it'll come to a close at the end of this year on its regular, consistent schedule. It'll be every other year, so you don't completely lose it. But this is a game every single year I look forward to. What's your experience with Auburn, and what's this series mean to a guy like you?
I'm gonna bring you back to I think it was the '93 season or '94 season. Not exactly sure which year, but the year we went to Auburn and we were beating Auburn going into the fourth quarter.
Oh
and
gosh, is
we
this the Jamie Howard game?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's not just Jamie Howard. Come on, man.
He's
Watts.
a
quarterback. Morris Watts, Jamie Howard, the LSU Tiger football team. We threw 4 interceptions in a full quarter, man, and that was just one of them games where.
So take me to that game. So are y'all are up in the fourth quarter?
Yes.
Y'all are leading in the fourth quarter.
And all we had to do was run the ball.
So as a player, what are you like? Are you like? I mean, did you see the University of Miami last weekend? The coach. They're all they have to do is just run the ball out. You can kneel it, they win. They run the ball, kid fumbles, they end up getting beat by Georgia Tech. They got a shot of a kid on the sideline. I hate to say kid, but a player.
The center.
On the sideline, the center. And I mean, he's looking up and he's crying. He's like you could see the tears coming down his face. And he's saying, "What the bleep are we doing?"
Right.
Did you have that moment in the game as a kid where you're like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? And even today, I think a lot of kids and some coaches, not all, where they're so stat driven. Like if I get 1 more yard, if I throw the ball, just 10 more yards, they're so stat driven. Even if I take you back to the Mizzou game last week. If Mizzou just takes the ball and run the ball, they could have a pretty good chance of winning that football game if they just run it. But they wanted to pass. So that was us in that Auburn game, 93, 94. All we had to do was run the ball. We had some great running backs, right? And, and just try to do too much.
What was that locker room like after the game?
Oh, it was quiet. I'm talking about like quiet. They had some guys, including myself, who were a little pissed off about how it ended. It's just one of them games where like we should have won this.
How?
Yeah, how did this happen?
How did this happen?
Brother, yeah. Plane ride was quiet going back home. Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah. Obviously this Auburn series it's just one that for a while the home team dominated and now it goes a little bit back and forth, but it's just, to me, it's one of those SEC rivalries that really built the brand of the league.
Right.
It's not the sole reason, but it's just one of those series that when you looked at it, you were like, man, I know I'm gonna watch good football when those two match up.
That's right. And even like as the series, come to this day or tomorrow, that tomorrow's a sold out game. And both teams, we're not playing great football. We're playing decent football to be able to win. So is Auburn. And so this is one of those games, one of those series where you go in and say, we know that the matchup, because Auburn and LSU always play each other. It's like the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders. It's just that rivalry, that series that happens. But it'll be fun tomorrow. I know our guys will be ready. I know Auburn fans and the team will come in. They will be ready. And it should be a pretty good football game.
Remember, we'll be over at Lod Cook today for Football Fridays. We look forward to it. Every home game for LSU the Friday before, we're over at Lod Cook, partnered with the LSU Alumni Association. Lauren Giffen and her crew do an incredible job of organizing the event. Eddie and I show up. We host the event. Eddie gets all the legends together, and we really just kind of sit around, tell stories, laugh, get good vibes on a Friday. So if you got some time and you're looking for a good place to get the weekend going, if you're on campus, you're already tailgating. I was talking to Tom Granning. He had set up his RV this morning, and they're just walking over this afternoon or this morning for the luncheon. So Ed, the legend, it is good to see you.
Yeah, brother. Always great to see you guys.
See you today.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you today for Football Friday. There he is, Eddie Kennison, the legend, checking in. We got Jake Crain breaking down the college football weekend next. We'll talk Washington and Oregon out west. That's a huge one with Michael Penix and the crew out there, and the Huskies hosting the Oregon Ducks. We'll also talk about games like Tennessee and Texas A&M in the league, and then we'll also get Jake Crane's thoughts of the Auburn side of this series and history of this LSU-Auburn matchup over the years. Come back with us. Jordy Culotta Show rolling on here on this Friday, Football Friday edition, and we will announce our winner of the Cigna Frames Drew Brees jersey when we come back, as we've got the Drew Brees Cigna Frames jersey and 2 Saints tickets to give away next year on the Jordy Culotta Show. Come back with us.
Don't let concerns about shifts in the market disrupt your long-term financial goals. Edward Jones financial advisor Daniel Newman can help. He'll work with you on an investment strategy for long-term results. Edward Jones can give you the tools and knowledge for a steady approach to hitting your financial targets. Get started today by calling Daniel Newman at 225-261-8262. 225-261-8262. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Belmont Stakes Race Trainer. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, go roof.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot. Oh, yeah. Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
As primary care sports physicians, the things we think about the most with our athletes from a medical standpoint usually involves the head, the climate, and the heart. We have to be very careful about participating in sports when it is safe, but also having the proper equipment to take care of them if we are worried about the athletes. So here in Louisiana, obviously heat can be a big problem. Things that I think about as a primary care sports medicine physician is that it's safe enough for our athletes to participate. And there are certain regulations that we follow here at Ochsner, but throughout the entire state, to make sure it is safe for our athletes to participate. When we think about concussion, we have to really recognize those symptoms from the forefront, and that becomes a cultural issue as well. As for the heart, screening exams are by far the most important thing that we can think about. We go through a series of questions, but also listen to the athlete's heart and ask about family history and other symptoms they may have had in the past. By doing so, we can identify and potentially screen out athletes to make sure that they are safe to participate in the sports that they love to do.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us.
Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On the Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Missing us! Let's be special! Let's be strong! Let's smell greatness from the top! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
When law enforcement needed John Stefanski's help,
he stepped up and passed the toughest fentanyl trafficking law in America.
He's always had our back.
As Attorney General, I trust him.
I trust him. I trust John Stefanski to stand with law enforcement
And Louisiana families.
To fight back against violent crime.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John.
I'm with John Stefanski.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
I'm with John Stefanski for Attorney General.
A real passion of mine is ACL injuries, but not just really in the treatment of ACL injuries, but how do we keep them from happening? So right here at Oshner, we're doing some research studies on ACL injury prevention. We're working with some of our high schools, and we're testing different functional tests for athletes. And we're trying to identify people that are at risk for ACL tears. We're trying to catch them before those ACLs happen. And then we want to intervene with some injury prevention programs. And that's something that, being part of Oshner Andrews Institute, and we can continue on that research. We can expand the impact of that research. We can bring that to more athletes in our community.
Welcome back. Friday edition, Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built and powered by our friend Rhett Bourgeois over at RMB Builders. RMB-Builders.com is where you can find him online. RMB Builders is where you can find him on Instagram. Our friend Rhett Bourgeois. Speaking of friends, our friends over at Signa Frames have a great giveaway that we partnered up with them over the last couple of weeks. And Signa Frames, Noelle Chabert, a great childhood friend of mine, is heading that organization. Her and her boyfriend are doing great work over at Signa Frames, and what they're doing, man, they have great selections of jerseys. We got the Perk jersey inside the studio. They got Burrow, they got Chase, they got baseball, basketball. It's not just LSU flair. They've got people from all over sports that you can find over at Signa Frames. We've been encouraging you to find them on Instagram. And once you found them on Instagram, to give them a follow. Once you gave them a follow, to jump inside the comments and tag 3 people. If you did that, you were entered in to win our giveaway. Stu, if we can show our Drew Brees jersey here right to the right of us, which is now
no longer ours,
going to be given away
it's gonna be
to a lucky listener who was found Signa Frames on the internet, found them on Instagram, and gave them a follow there. Was tagged 3 people and was entered to win. So our winner of the giveaway, Drew Brees signed jersey giveaway, along with 2 tickets to the Saints and Jacksonville Jaguars game coming up 1 week from last night.
Yes.
Yeah, 1 week from last night, Thursday night in the Dome. So hopefully you're in and around New Orleans and you can make that. If not, you got 2 tickets to Jacksonville and the Saints that you can do what you want with.
You got 2 tickets
but
to Paradise.
our winner for the jersey is, drumroll, boys, Jennifer Rayborn. Woo! Jennifer Rayborn. She is on Instagram at JR77 as always. Is her Instagram handle. Her name is Jennifer Rayborn. So Jennifer, if you're listening, if you are out there, I know that Signa Frames will notify you via Instagram if you're not listening to the show. But congratulations to Jennifer Rayborn, who is our winner of the Signa Frames Drew Brees Who Dat giveaway, along with the 2 tickets to the Saints game next Thursday night in the Dome versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Congratulations, Jennifer Rayborn. Thank you for being a listener. Thank you for finding Signa Frames on Instagram. And thanks to our great friends over at Signa Frames for this fantastic giveaway of partnering up with them. And really, this was great, man. And now hopefully all of you that have found Signa Frames, you will start to shop their selection. These are great gift ideas, great birthday, Christmas, especially with the holidays coming up. You can get a cool wall piece of memorabilia for an office, for a room, for a playroom, for a watch room over at Signa Frames. Online, signaframes.com, and hopefully you found them on Instagram over at Signa Frames. We got Jake?
No, not yet.
All right, so we might have to just bounce to straight to MINTZ at 8:30. Let me know when MINTZ gets in at 8:30. We might have to reschedule reschedule for.
I wait to send Mintzy a link every week.
That's probably smart. That's probably smart.
Because we know how that could go.
That's probably you might want to send it to him now, though.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did.
Hey, real quick on that giveaway, I want to make sure and say to our friend Tom Granning, who helped us out with those tickets. And Lloyd, would you mind grabbing me one of the Rudolph runs for our guy Tom Granning, which he's got a 5K. He's actually got a 1K, 5K, and 10K.
Get over there.
Coming up in Natchez for their Wardo's Rudolph run. There you go.
Back it up a little bit. Back up a little bit.
Back up 1 step.
2 steps.
There you go. Maybe getting the light right there. Ooh, bang. 10K, 5K, 1 mile fun run. Register for the 2nd annual Wardo's Rudolph Roll. We will have all that information for you. Tom, I know, is inside the chat. So if you're listening and want more information, but I am going to be on campus today. I've got a stack of these posters. I'm going to drop them off all over campus. So hopefully if you see that QR code, you can sign up for it. It goes to a great spot and a great cause for our friend over at GoMart and Wardo's Po' Boys over there in Natchez for Tom Granning. Appreciate you as always, Tommy G, with the gas cards and taking care of the show. Great support as always. So we'll be talking to Ben MINTZ here, and congratulations to Jennifer Rayborn. As Tom and Signa Frames came through with a couple of tickets and a signed jersey to the Saints, or signed jersey from Drew Brees. So cool giveaway. Thanks to everybody over at Signa Frames.
I did.
I'm looking forward to this college football weekend for some reason.
And we have Notre Dame USC.
Notre Dame
and USC in the green jerseys.
Sweet Lou Holtz.
Are they? Is this South Bend or LA?
I think it's in South Bend.
Oh, Sweet Lou will be back on set.
Sweet Lou Holtz.
It is at
I mean, if I'm Marcus Freeman, I'm sending Lou Holtz a bucket of sand. Hey, Lou, gag on this weekend, buddy.
Taking his teeth and running away.
Shovel this down your throat, buddy.
Hide your dentures, Lou.
It's supposed to be raining. It's supposed to be raining though in South Bend.
The
tricky for Caleb Williams. You know,
I'm
not
taking
used to the rain. Not used to the rain.
And
it's
don't
turf
forget
up there now in South Bend, right?
Oh,
yeah.
is it?
It's carpet.
It is
I
turf.
was about to bring up
they used to
do the long grass.
Yeah, Reggie Bush and Lindell White and that crew, when they got off the bus, they were playing in a cow pasture.
Grass is too long, Coach. I can't.
That's
can't
where
play
the Bush push was invented.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That you talk about a great game now.
Cool. Yeah.
One of the great USC of that era, the Bush, Leinart, Lindell White era.
Dwayne Jarrett.
That was a great game for them. They rarely got into good games. They blew everybody out. But that Notre Dame game that day in South Bend was a classic.
And if you were an LSU fan back then, you were that was the second game you were watching every week. Just somebody beat USC.
Well, I was hoping, like we were talking to Ronnie Brown earlier this week, man, that team should have definitely got a shot at USC. They should have absolutely made the LSU USC game in 2003 happen after Oklahoma got beat in the Big 12 championship game.
All thanks to
Kansas State
and Darren Sproles.
Darren Sproles, and who was it? Yeah, it was Darren Sproles. No, it wasn't Darren Sproles. It was it Chase, the quarterback, the back Chase Daniels in Missouri?
No, he was at Missouri.
Right. Didn't they have a big upset when Chase Daniels was there over Oklahoma that did something for LSU?
They lost their last two, didn't they? Didn't they lose going into the Big 12 championship? Or they lost maybe the last two of the year? But
Oklahoma?
Yeah. I don't think they had two. No, they didn't have two losses. They lost their last two. They lost to Big 12 going into, then lost again.
That's right. And because they were like considered the best team of all time.
Right.
I mean, people were calling them like this once in a lifetime
juggernaut.
I mean, I was like, this guy Jason White with there's no way this guy is the
dentist?
quarterback for the best team of all time.
And he sneaks away with the Heisman when it should have gone to Larry Fitzgerald that year.
That's right.
Larry Fitz
was unbelievable at Pitt.
Oh my goodness!
Talk about a game changer at wide receiver.
This is
matchup nightmare.
If you were to know how into it I was at this time in my life.
Coach.
Oh my God! He's on the
first
cover.
round pick.
Yes, first 1-1.
1-1. Yeah, that's 1-1.
But this is the point in my life where I was so locked in. I was at a Halloween party, and it was the same night as the Heisman ceremony, and I just sat in front of the TV and just watched the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like people are like doing hay rides and all this nonsense, and I was like,
football.
"What? Y'all are watching the Heisman presentation?" And now I don't even. Last time I watched it was 2019.
You just watch it on Twitter,
right?
Same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who won?
Right.
But then I was locked in, and I was shocked that Larry Fitz didn't win. I was like, they did all this and gave it to Jason White. And I was like, LSU is about to tear that ass
because they had gotten beat.
Yeah,
by that point,
and he didn't play well.
Right, like he had gotten kind of punked.
And then
then they were like, "Well, it's a regular season award."
That's
like,
exactly.
Get out of here.
Do it in the playoffs.
Get out of here, man.
And then he gets punked by LSU and goes undrafted. I mean,
Yes.
name of the last Heisman winner to go undrafted.
Not parlay that into a draft pick.
Did he get drafted?
No,
he went undrafted and he became an oral surgeon. But I mean, Jason White with the knee brace, like, what are we doing? That era is over.
Mm-hmm.
That's not who wins it anymore. But last one for the pocket passer. Big Jason White.
Shui Lu Ho.
What time is that game? What time is the Notre Dame USC game? 2:30?
6:30.
6:30.
Oh, Lou will be asleep by then.
Shui Lu Ho.
I mean, I didn't see the second half. Took you all day, Ryan Day. I'm not hard to find.
All right, so this weekend, the weekend slate, Arkansas is at Alabama for the 11 o'clock game. That's going to follow up game day on ESPN. Then at the 2:30 slot, I think the game of the day is Oregon and Washington, right?
Has to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is going to be I think this is kind of a clash of styles when you look at this game. I mean, it's crazy when we talk about Oregon now in the style that they play, that Dan Lanning has brought to Eugene, but he has brought an SEC mentality to Eugene. He's built that team under the blueprint of an SEC guys. I mean, they have gone and followed the model of what the SEC dominant schools have done. I've heard more over the last 2 weeks, month of that Lanning is the guy that the Alabama boosters are zoning in on to be Saban's top replacement. He spent some time in Tuscaloosa, and he was a guy that started at the lowest of the totem pole. I mean, like in the film room, breaking it up for recruits, and just skyrocketed up the coaching tree and became a defensive coach, became a defensive coordinator, was with Kirby at Georgia. Next thing you know, he's the head coach at Oregon. He's got Oregon, and that program really kind of transformed as far as what their identity was. I never thought Oregon was a threat. I never took Oregon seriously, or have never taken Oregon seriously. Really, I've always thought that they were the epitome of a West Coast team, right? They were built with a ton of skill, a ton of flash, and it was all flash, no substance, right? When I thought about Oregon, I thought when you really got into the trenches, when you really got down to the lines of scrimmage, like that stuff just wasn't going to play, right? Like it was just going to be a different type of physical style. Lanning has brought in just 2 years that style through the transfer portal. He's been able to kind of, fast track it to look and feel like that, where it's an SEC type environment. It's an SEC type school. It feels like SEC with the physical style that he brings and what he's coaching and the style that he is. I mean, Oregon's always had offensive coaches, it felt like. You know what I mean? Like Cristobal was a little bit of an outlier, but I mean, the Chip Kellys.
50-50? 50-50 kneel it.
But I mean, like Lanning is a guy that just he fits it different. And
dude,
I can't wait to watch this.
Have you seen the tattoo he has of his wife?
What?
I just found it just now, and I sent it to Stewie to pull up. It is elaborate.
It's like a back tat?
It's a rib tattoo, and it is massive. He loves his wife.
Sweet Dan Lanning.
He's got a lot going on with this tattoo of his
wife.
He does. And well, I only thought to look up. I just Googled him because I wanted to see how old he was. Because I sent you that interview that he did, that sit down where he was talking about he had kids already, and he's like, "We're making, $20K." Like trying to make ends meet with kids. I'm moving all over the country. He's like, this was a terrible idea.
Right.
And he was like, I pulled out my pension from teaching, and that got us from, at least A to B. And he's like, we're trying to get to C, and we had no real way to do it. He's like, shout out to my wife for being the rock of the household. And turns out he really does love his wife with this. But when you see the tattoo, and it has some Alabama ties in there, it has a lot of hidden meanings in this thing. So don't be surprised if he does end up rolling it back for the Tide whenever
I'm telling you, the people, we have a couple of good relationships over at Alabama. People that are tied, kind of like to the top of the booster club.
Dan Lanning.
And they say that people at like the money is in love with Dan.
Oh, I bet. I mean, he's the flavor of the year.
Right.
I mean, and you're getting the Dan Lanning tour now.
And not only that, he's so when you get him potentially for like 20 years.
Yeah, he's 37.
Oh gosh.
No better chef's kiss for Nick Saban to have Kirby Smart running the East, and then you would have potentially Dan Lanning running the West. You rule the SEC, and you have Steve Sarkisian as your pet project.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is that an Alabama A on her face?
Yeah. Oregon around her neck.
Coach. Is that a pit on her?
Pit on her tit. And a little bit of Texas.
Coach, it's over.
Look at his nipple.
Is that his nip on the top left?
Yeah, it's his nipple on the top left.
So it's like right here?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's aggressive.
That is aggressive. I mean, that's like a Panama Beach tat.
In a tattoo, you hope it goes away.
Like, whoa, bro. Did you lose a bet?
I got this at 2:30 in the morning. Check it out.
Senior trip, 99.
I love her. I'm going to propose.
Wow.
I think I love her.
But this is recent because it has all of his stops, unless he keeps updating it.
No, I think he's just updating it.
Yeah. I mean, the Pit, he threw in there.
When did he spend time at Pitt? Where's the Georgia G at? The G spot?
Yeah, it goes lower.
Is that, what's the Texas?
Coach.
Is he from Texas?
No, he's from Missouri. Somebody broke it down. The meaning of it. Hold on.
Holy cow, Coach.
That's so, I just never thought.
Beautiful lips.
Sure.
For the artist. I mean.
Oh, wow. I mean, they.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's somewhat representative of her. He's got 3 kids.
Bada bing, bada boom. I want to be Pitt. Cordell Music, what's her IG?
Jeez, you fellas.
All right, somebody broke it down. So here we go. The first thing, the 816 on her eye, if you pull it back up, that's the area code where he started at Park Hill South High School. He was a graduate assistant at Pitt, so that's why you got the titty tattoo. Arizona State, he was a graduate assistant, which is, if you can see, a little sun devil right above the Alabama A. And then Sam Houston State, defensive backs coach, which is the state of Texas. 5, graduate assistant at Alabama. That's why I got the A. And then there is a Georgia shout-out, number 6, which is the score above her eyebrow, 33-18, against the Alabama, the national championship score. So that's why that's there. And then 7, University of Oregon, obviously. And then that's it. Next.
Life's kind of hot.
Yeah, he did well. Then there's a boomerang, so maybe that's a symbol of a return to somewhere.
Yeah, great, dude.
To sender.
The nipple is wasn't there.
Enjoy Tuscaloosa.
I don't play in Tuscaloosa. You have a battle of the best.
Oh my God! Would that play in Tuscaloosa?
I mean,
he could coach a game with his shirt off.
AJ McCarron walking right through that door. The second to worst tattoo I've ever seen. Now,
shout out to our guy Jacques Doucet who tweeted this out 12 minutes ago. A surreal day. I can't believe it's real. Our great friend Steve Schneider has anchored his last sportscast at WAFB. Thank you for being a wonderful friend and a working partner for over 2 decades and serving the community for over 40 years. What a time we have had as Steve Schneider has his last day at WAFB is, man, that is crazy to think about. As I remember seeing Steve Schneider cover high school football when I was in high school. Before I was in high school, Steve Schneider had developed a brand of what is now the 9 sports and 9 high school coverage, all really built on Steve Schneider. So congratulations to Steve and everybody over at WAFB for what a long and thriving and cool career that has been. I know that Steve has got a lot of things that he's got set up coming up over the next couple of months, and he'll be involved in some cool things as well. But what a crazy day it is to see it actually coming to an end. Over 40 years of service at WAFB for Steve Schneider. So what an incredible day, and how cool it is to remember his time on television here covering local sports, and what a job he's done. So shout out to our friends over at WAFB. Shout out to Steve Schneider, and of course Jacques. I'd imagine that Jacques will be having some good news come his way here pretty shortly of him stepping into that role, because I can't think of a better combination of a sports team from a local standpoint than Jacques and Steve. I mean, it's rare that I know we've talked about this, so I don't want to go back to it, but it's rare that you find a guy like Jacques that sticks around in a market like Baton Rouge and, kind of bats in the second hole. I mean, like a guy like Jacques, he's usually a leadoff hitter, and would have been for probably the last 15 years, to be quite honest. And the way that those two have developed that sports department and the coverage that they have provided for their audience and for their viewers, I think, really kind of speaks for itself. Sportsline Friday night, the commitment that Steve put into that, the way that Jacques is committed to, showing up for every player availability that exists, no matter if it's softball, baseball, basketball, football. He's there getting the coverage and bringing it to the viewer. It's just it's a very special relationship. I know when Jacques was here remembering it, he was holding back. You could see him fighting to hold back tears. I mean, there were times where you could catch him where he would fall off. I mean, he would just kind of almost lose it. I mean, for somebody that was sitting there and watching somebody, because I've been in that situation too, where you're on this microphone, you're in front of the camera, and you're like thinking, man, don't break down, don't cry, don't lose it, don't just become a basket case here. And it doesn't have to necessarily be sad stories that is referencing. I mean, sometimes it's just moments or times or friends or memories that you could tell Jacques was Rolodexing through in his mind while he was trying to stay put together in telling what Steve meant to him. So congratulations to Steve Schneider. Congratulations to WAFB. Thank you, Steve Schneider. Thank you, WAFB, for bringing him into our living room, into our conference rooms for so many years, and providing us the coverage that we want, right? That we want as the viewer. So I'd imagine it's a pretty cool day for Steve, but it's got to be pretty weird as well, knowing that it's a Friday and that he doesn't have to be on the desk tonight and sift through just hundreds of hours of high school tape that he's going to break down for you. It will be weird not seeing him there.
I guess he'll watch.
I imagine. I mean, it's probably
old
like
habits die hard. Probably
watching your kid.
He'll probably start watching, start texting. Yeah,
I don't think that's not really him.
I know,
but it might be. It might be in retirement. He might surprise himself.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of people that are so invested in something they've done for so long, it just feels like you don't just quit.
Yeah, how do you let it go?
Right. Tiger Woods is still trying to play golf.
That's right. Remember Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works, Jude Barker and the crew. Appreciate those guys over there. They got over and helped us out over at the Government Street studio that we're getting out of this month and
Still
turning
no Jake.
over.
Still no Mintzy.
All right, that's cool. Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. You can find them. They're over in West Baton Rouge Parish, and they work over in East Baton Rouge a couple of days. Every single day, they got a couple of trucks over here, so you can get in touch with Barker Brothers. As if you call and mention the Jordy Culotta Show, you'll save yourself 15%. 225-776-2431. 225-776-2431. Mention the show, save 15%. We will be back and close it out here on the show right after this. Culotta Show brought to you by R&B Builders.
Mintzy come back 4-2 last week. Need those picks.
Shit happens, man.
No.
If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about one buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on. Did you do it? Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every single time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, go roof. Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life, man. Football is Joe Burrow.
Click Here Digital, the home of the Jordy Culotta Show. Online at clickheredigital.com. If you're looking to set Google ads, set social media campaigns, learn about SEO, display video, or even creative, Click Here Digital has the answer for you. Online at clickheredigital.com or email me directly, Jordy at clickheredigital.com.
Well, the Auctioner Andrews Sports Medicine Institute collaborative effort was an idea from Dr. Andrews and myself to bring together two great names, the Andrews name and the Auctioner name, to elevate the quality of care for athletes in the state of Louisiana, where he's from.
I always thought I would come back to Louisiana and practice orthopedics with my subspecialty being sports medicine. This was an opportunity through Auctioners to come back and work the entire state to help develop and take sports medicine to a new level.
As an orthopedic surgeon, what this means in the future in terms of, access for our community to the type of care that Dr. Andrews pioneered, words can't describe how valuable that is.
Ochsner has a great opportunity here to really grow, and Dr. Burnham, of course, is the mainstay of making that happen. If you want to have first-class sports medicine care, check in with Dr. Burnham and his group, and you'll be more than impressed and pleased.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long. Do it right, do it light. Kyra Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Thanks. Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 504 food because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti. But you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person, I'd probably get Kyra Lacey. He be having me joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
Besides myself, Perk or Malik. Future self, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking Perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emory Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PSDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Head health is incredibly important for our student athletes. One of the best ways we're trying to address concussions is on the front end. We're trying to prevent these before they happen. And a big part of that is speaking to the athletes, letting them know what to expect. Okay, speaking to the parents, what to look out for, talking to the coaches so they know the vital importance. Some of the big things we're looking for with a concussion, which is, a traumatic brain injury, is one, was there a mechanism? Was there an injury that took place that could lead to this? Often a direct blow to the head, a head-to-head hit. If someone's showing signs of concussion, our first step is always to remove them from activity, get them to a place where there's less stimuli, where we can really just sit down and get a feel for the athlete, what they're feeling. We're looking for headache, we're looking for dizziness, any sign that coordination is off, that something's just not right. Get a good evaluation of them to understand what's going on. It's not worth the risk that may be there to kind of ignore it, because there are very serious consequences if we don't treat a concussion properly.
All right, Mintzy had a hard out at 8:45, so he missed our six-pack this week. The man's been hot. I'll see if we can't get him from him and put him out on social media as he has been here every Friday, giving us our winners.
Wake up, Mintzy.
That's right. We will make our prediction here and get out of here. Enjoy your weekend for college football. Look, I heard Jacques talk earlier this week, and he was in and said this is one that he feels like LSU could really control this game. I feel the same way with him. I think that this is a game that LSU can come out and establish at least some type of control early on and hold it for 4 quarters. Is the game always going to be LSU comfortably in the lead? Probably not. But I think LSU will comfortably win this one at the end of it. Somewhere around 43-24, 38-21, somewhere around there. You know, a couple of scores difference, and LSU can get some momentum, hopefully, behind this defense. I think after last week, there are a couple of things that you can grow off of. There are a couple of things that you can take from last Saturday and at least move it in the direction of building confidence into a positive place, right? Like we've said, will they ever be a great defense? No. Will they even be a good defense? Maybe not. But they can be an opportunistic defense, speaking of LSU, taking chances and taking advantage of opportunities. Pick sixes, taking the ball away, strip fumbles, getting off the field on third down, stopping the run, whatever it may be. I think last week you can really start to build some momentum of taking the ball away. Really, I mean, some of those, that sack fumble, I mean, you almost had to try not to recover that ball. The 2 picks that you had in the takeaways, I think that's something in film that you can say, hey, look, here's something that's positive. Here's something that we can grow off of. Here's something that you guys are doing successfully right now, and let's make our mindset. That's the approach going into this weekend. Take the ball away whenever you can. Are you going to give up big plays? Are you going to give up chunk yards? Yes. But when there's opportunities to take the ball away, make sure and get it. Fall on the football. You don't have to scoop and score it. If there's an interception, you don't have to make the tough catch. Just step in front of it and make it. I mean, these are the types of opportunities that I'm talking about from a defensive standpoint that I hope that they can play themselves into on Saturday night. Offensively, I think that they shine. Offensively, I think that they hover around 40 again, if not drop 40, with Jayden Daniels and crew. I know that this Auburn defense can't guard LSU. It will be a nice challenge up front to see what happens inside the trenches. But I think LSU, again, is the better team. 22-on-22, I'd take LSU in just about every position. So I think that this is a game that they're in control. I think Tiger Stadium is going to be on tilt. I think that the day is going to be Chamber of Commerce. I think that it's going to be a bright, sunshining South Louisiana Saturday with Auburn in town.
What more could you ask for?
It's an October Saturday. It's about as good as this town can give you. A Saturday night kickoff inside Tiger Stadium. LSU favored by 2 scores against an SEC Western Division rival in front of a sold-out crowd on national television.
For the last time.
Enjoy the weekend. Tigers roll.
Oh, Mintzy.
Oh! This is perfect.
This is perfect, Mintzy.
What a great closing, too. That was awesome.
Hey,
Benjamin?
Hold on, I got you.
Got to get these picks in, Benj. My skin's itching.
Audubon Park, getting ready for my Friday morning.
Look at him, buddy.
Friday morning exercise. I literally, and I just 2 minutes ago said, "Oh crap! How could I forget about my guys,
buddy?"
I just had a brain fart, and I'm sorry because I love y'all and y'all are great to me, and I feel kind of like a bad person.
No, you're here.
Wait, Mintzy, are you coming to Baton Rouge?
Very too hard on yourself.
Oh yeah, no. So tomorrow I'm coming over in the morning. I'll be at Fred's. The Barstool College football show's at 4. I got to be honest. I'm very curious about the Dave Portnoy reception in Baton Rouge after all the stuff with the NCAA women's title game.
Angel Reese wears the crown around here. You don't want to nudge the queen.
No, look, that was all Dave lost a bet.
That was so gambling.
Yeah, it was gambling, and it all got taken out of proportion for sure, as things often do with this platform. But I'm curious about what that's going to be like. But yeah, tomorrow at 4. I'm going to the game tomorrow night. And, guys, I got to tell y'all, hopping into the gambling real quick, I think LSU is going to beat the crap out of Auburn tomorrow.
I'll take it.
Okay, Mintzy.
Is it in the
Well,
six-pack of
the only thing
picks?
about Auburn, the only thing about Auburn is just that they're off the bye, and Freeze will throw the kitchen sink and maybe some trick play stuff. But you got the immovable force against the immeasurable object. You got Auburn's 121st pass offense against LSU's 121st pass defense. But LSU, my bad, sorry about that truck going by. LSU at night in Death Valley against their passing offense will get some stops, and Auburn can't score with them. Like this LSU offense, I mean, other than 2019, it's the best in school history. It's unbelievable how good it is. And, I mean, I've got LSU winning like 41-21, something like that. I mean, I think LSU in a rout on Saturday is one of my biggest plays.
Love it. Mintzy, everybody's looking forward to the six-pack. You went 4-2 last weekend. You've been making people rich. Who we like this week?
All right. Other plays, I've got Washington -3 against Oregon. I like it more. Make sure if you can get it at 3. Here's why I like it, though. Oregon, as good as they are, they're not the same. They got that weird home field advantage in Eugene. They're not quite as good on the road. And, man, I just think Washington, even though people are talking about Penix and Heisman and stuff, I feel like people still hadn't really seen them. They hired the Fresno coach a couple years ago. Their vertical passing game is spectacular, and I think everybody's going to see that on Saturday. So Washington by 3 over Oregon, and, man, and then my third pick, I'm going to go Notre Dame by 2.5 at home over USC on a bounce-back spot. I think Notre Dame got caught on a look-ahead last week at Louisville. They were a 5.5-point favorite. They got caught looking ahead, and I think they got burned on it, and now they're in a bounce-back spot. And USC, look, their defense is terrible. I mean, they should have lost at home to a bad Arizona team. So I like Notre Dame and South Bend. So college, we're going Notre Dame, Washington, and the LSU Tigers. And I'm actually going to do something. I'm going to fire. I think I'm going to fire LSU pretty big Saturday, boys. And I'm going to the game.
Love it.
So
Bet of the year?
Love it.
I don't want to say bet of the I hate always saying that, but I mean, I'm going to put like 3 units. How about 3 units on it? How about that?
Yes, sir. All right, who we liking on Sunday?
A brick watch.
All right. Hang on. I'm looking like I've got to re-glance at this line. I've looked at
good.
Sunday already, but I got to re-glance at the spreads.
Give me a glance.
Second.
You good. Mintzy, is
electric.
Is that an old school nose? Is that the old school like pro running back? The nose?
The nose.
The breathe right.
The breathe right strip.
Yes.
Get your mind right,
I'm a
Mintzy.
believer, bro.
Trying to see if
Marshall Faulk used to wear it. When I saw Marshall Faulk wear it, I used to start wearing it like pick up like intramural basketball games, bro.
Bring out the Rex bags.
I mean, like pulled up socks and the breathe rights.
I think it only plays on the football field.
Yeah, no, it definitely did.
Yeah, so we're ready. So what happened with my nose, dude, I'll address it. Dude, I don't know. I had like a scab this week on my nose. And last night I'm in Superior Seafood, and I guess it got picked or something. But like I was in the bathroom for like 25 minutes trying to stop this damn thing from bleeding. At Superior Seafood.
Not the regular nosebleed Mintzy's used to.
About to say, Mintzy, we've all been there.
No, this is scab. No, this is not. I know what y'all are thinking, but this is the upper part of the nose like a scab. This is not inner nose, and we're on the clean living these days anyway, boys.
Hell yeah, Mintzy.
Whatever y'all are thinking, you take your mind and you just get away from all that.
My septum is fine.
Yeah, it's the upper part of the nose. You know, it got a little wild in Oxford, but it didn't get wild like that.
Exterior.
So anyway, NFL, three picks. First of all, the Indianapolis Colts never win in Jacksonville. I mean, it's just crazy how bad they play there. Jacksonville's getting it going. They went to London. They fixed their problems with 2 wins. Doug Peterson took back play calling is the biggest thing. And I like Jacksonville by 4 at home over Indy. I'm telling you, Indy stats in Jacksonville are horrible. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm taking the Chicago Bears +3 as a home dog. The Vikings on the road. No Justin Jefferson now until week 10. I mean, I know the Bears are bad, but I think they're playing better. And I just don't see how Minnesota can be laying 3 on the road. And then my final one, you know, it may be going to the well too often, but tell the New Orleans Saints play 1 over. I'm just betting until the unders in the Saints games get into the mid-30s like they should be. I'm just betting under every week. It's 41.5 at Houston.
Ooh.
I know C.J. Stroud's playing pretty well, but he's still a rookie against the elite Saints defense. So I'm going under 41.5 in Saints-Texans. Saints unders, I mean, they're undefeated. I mean, they just never – they keep putting them at 40 or 41 or 42, and they keep going under. And so, you know, until I get burned, I'm doing it.
With you.
It's a payday with Mintzy, man. It's been paying off every week with the six-pack. Mintz, thanks for getting in this weekend, and we will see you tomorrow morning over at Fred's with a steak.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll just be no Band-Aid tomorrow, but we'll see y'all over at Fred's. I'm going to be over at Fred's. I'm trying to get there by noon or 1. I'll be hanging out all day. Shows at 4. Come say hello.
Hell yeah.
Mintzy, can me and Lloyd be guest pickers?
Yeah, let us sit there.
I'm not even on there. They didn't even, dude, last year it was Ole Miss, LSU, and Baton Rouge, and they didn't even let me on there. My feelings hurt. I was like, what? I couldn't believe they didn't let me on for Ole Miss, LSU. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Just happy to be here.
But, I guess we got to get to Oxford for me to make the A team. But maybe it's different now. Who knows?
You got to protect them.
Yeah, we'll be.
You got to protect old Prez tomorrow. Get him in the good graces.
We'll be over there though all day. Come see us, y'all. I hope y'all come hang out. More the merrier. We'll have a good time. And hey, I'll say it. It's going to be a great Saturday in Baton Rouge, boys.
Absolutely.
A beautiful day in Audubon Park with Mintzy there as you get the six-pack before we get out of here. That was it was not a breathe right.
I know what y'all are thinking.
No.
Hey, great picks though.
Great picks. What you got?
Just because he inspires some confidence with LSU. So to recap, he has in the NCAA. Oregon versus Washington. He's taken Washington -3. USC at Notre Dame -2 in the Fighting Lou Holtz. Auburn versus LSU. He has LSU big. So LSU -11 is what it currently is at. I guess you go ahead and fire away on that. Colts at Jacksonville in the NFL to start off the NFL plays. Jacksonville +4. Vikings at Bears. Bears +3. Saints at Houston, fire on the under, 41.5, which I agree is also far too high. So they start putting in the 30s.
That's right.
Keep taking the Saints
They
in the
scored
under.
31 last week?
By themselves.
I think that was the most they scored.
Yeah, it was.
To do 3 years, something like that.
All right, have a great Saturday.
LSU
Enjoy the
overs,
weekend,
Saints
man.
unders.
That's right. Enjoy the weekend. We'll be back with you on Sunday for our show. Have a great day out at Tiger Stadium, outside at LSU tomorrow. Should be a beautiful Saturday down here in South Louisiana. For the Jordy Culotta Show and all of our guests this week, we appreciate you interacting with us. Make sure and give us a subscription before you get out of here, as we will be back with you on Sunday for the show built by RMB.
My wife.
Got that old bag.
Sam Montgomery is hurt.
Hey, Chino, put my headphones up, bro. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next. Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah, Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time, yeah.